Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Baker's Stew Chiefs podcast. We are here to discuss the cornerbacks that we picked up in the draft. We got two of them, L'Jarius Sneed and Bo Peep Keys, or Takarius Keys, I believe is another way. But I got him down as Bo Peep Keys, so we'll go with that. L'Jarius Sneed comes from LA Tech. Bo Peep Keys comes from Tulane. But before we get into that, we had some news today. The Chiefs released Dustin Colquitt, our punter, after 15 seasons. It's time to move on. I believe he was 38 years old. So, um, Noah, my co-host, how do you feel about that?
Brandon, I am honestly very surprised that they made that move. I really am. I knew he was old, but I mean, look at Adam Vinatieri in the league,
He's like
or
10
a
years
guy.
older than him.
I know it. Or look at a guy like Pat McAfee. I believe he was kicking when he was pretty old too. I don't know, man. Dustin Colquitt's been loyal to the Chiefs. Um, Obviously he's made his impact on the Chiefs, and it's real surprising to me to see them let him go. I didn't see that coming, man. It was honestly I was shocked when I read that news today.
Yeah, I was too. At the same time, I wasn't just because of the age, but it's not something I was really expecting at all, to be honest.
Right.
I wonder if he's going to move on somewhere else or if he will retire.
Personally, I think he's going to play for another team. That's my opinion. Um, and honestly, I could see him going to another team in the AFC West. That's just something that I think I could see happening. You never know; he could go to the NFC, but I really see him sticking around the AFC, particularly our division. But I mean, we'll see, man. Real surprising move.
Yeah, definitely. And as far as who will be his replacement, we'll get into that later on in the offseason as things develop more. I know of one guy, Tyler Newsome, we picked up in free agency to a 1 year deal. I don't know a ton about him, so we'll definitely pull up some things and we'll get some more information and we'll get into that a little further into the off season. But today, like I said, we're going to talk about our new cornerbacks. So we'll start out with L'Jarius Sneed out of LA Tech. Noah, what do you got on him?
Oh man, dude. Jarius Sneed, I am very pumped to pick him up. I mean, going into the draft, every Chief fan, honestly, probably every person that's watched the Chiefs play and know that we need a cornerback.
Yeah,
I mean, it was everyone knew it going into the draft. Every Chiefs fan knew that that's what was going to happen. We were going to draft a cornerback. And honestly, being honest, when we picked up Clyde Edwards in the 30, I think it was 32nd pick in the
yeah, last
first
pick.
round. Yep, I was surprised. I was really thinking we were going to pick up a cornerback. I mean, I've already expressed how thoroughly excited I am to pick him up, but I was really surprised to see a running back be picked up. I was expecting a free agency move to be done in that area. But talking about L'Jarius Sneed, the biggest thing that stands out to me as a player is that he has experience at cornerback and safety, and that's huge because look at Tyrann Mathieu. The guy played more snaps at the cornerback position, slot cornerback position, than he did the safety position, which is his primary position.
Hmm.
So being able to play multiple positions, especially on defense, it's the same like a linebacker. If you have a outside linebacker, inside linebacker, just being able to play different positions and do multiple things is huge. And so this guy being able to play safety as well, um, honestly, is huge for him. It gives him a ton of credibility, and he's going to be used immediately, in my opinion. I don't know if you were wanting to get into that now, but I think he's going to immediately, just like Clyde Edwards, I think he's going to come in and start making plays immediately.
Yeah, I agree, and it's kind of cool having these guys that are multifunctional, like you mentioned with Tyrann Mathieu, and then you saw with Fuller having to step into the safety position after Juan Thornhill went out, and he played very well in the safety position. So I
Right.
mean, adding another guy that's versatile like that, I think that's awesome. He's
Oh
really
yeah, it's huge.
fast.
He is very fast. 4.37 40-yard dash at the combine. Fourth
Yes.
fastest time, the fourth fastest time of any participant, and the second fastest among defensive back.
Mm. Yeah, and like one thing I liked that I saw was he's a very aggressive tackler.
Hmm.
Um, he had 179 career tackles with 8 career interceptions. Looks like he can read the offense well.
Hey, you left out a very important stat on that. 3 of the 8 interceptions he had were pick sixes.
Yes, that's true. That is true. As far as how he reads the offense, I was noticing watching the highlights. Like he looked like a ball hawk, kind of like Tyrann Mathieu. Like
Hmm.
he's there. He knows where it's going, and he knows where to be.
Right. Yeah, I saw that in watching his film as well. But I think really the thing we need to focus on in this episode is kind of talking about how he's going to fit in, man. We've talked about Charvarius Ward. We've talked
Mm.
about, I mean, the guy takes plays off. He doesn't, it's almost like he just gives up. And so, talking about where he fits in, we'll talk about Bo Peep Keys in a minute. But I personally think Bashad Breeland and Kendall Fuller will be the first 2 cornerbacks, and I think that this guy is going to probably end up being a third string. What's your take on that?
I think so too. I think he can. I think he can step in on some key plays and be pretty important as well.
Right, and of course, different offenses give. You have more than 2 cornerbacks on the field, and so that's why I think that he will be on the field, but I don't think he's going to be lined up against the best receiver per se
No,
on the
not
team.
not in his rookie season.
I don't think so. I think that Kendall Fuller and Bashad Breeland will be faced with those tasks, but I think that we'll see L'Jarius Sneed on the field with those guys. I think we'll see him playing. I don't know. He may play a little bit of safety as well, but I mean, we'll see, man.
Yeah, I definitely think as he develops, he'll be a key player though. We'll see how things go in the off season.
Yeah, honestly, I don't see us picking up another cornerback in the offseason unless just a phenomenal cornerback comes in. But I really think that we've made our moves at that position, and I think we're going to work with what we have. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think so, and I think honestly going into this season, this is the most comfortable I've been with the defense in a long time.
Right. I would agree with that. I mean, we've seen it for the past couple of years. Of course, 2018, the reason we didn't go to the Super Bowl is, and I mean, I hate blaming. Honestly, if the offense would have put up more points, we would have went to the Super Bowl in 2018. But I mean, what it comes down to is D Ford and jumping off sides. That
I
was a
will forever
defensive
blame
fault.
D Ford. Forever.
Right. And I mean, yeah, it's defense fault, but at the same time, it's a team effort. Offense puts up more points, we win the game. But you have to be better.
Yeah, the
And
defense was terrible in that season, so
yeah, defense was terrible in that game against New England. Honestly, it was honestly probably the most pitiful I've seen our defense. And it surprised me because it's an AFC Championship game against the New England Patriots. They knew that they were playing one of the best teams in the NFL. And, defense is an area that we need to get together. And last year was a huge stepping stone. After Denver, things picked up and we started getting after it. And I think this year it's a different year, man. I really think we have it together this year.
yeah. I mean, it's sad to say, but we can only go up from where we were because I feel like
Right.
we just hit the bottom in the defense, and we saw after the Denver game last season a huge difference, and I think it's only gonna be that or more from now on.
Yeah, and I mean, like you said, the only way we can go is up. And so getting these draft picks and hopefully making some more moves in free agency That's what we need to do. That's the only thing we can do. And, hopefully developing the young guys like Juan Thornhill, absolute stud his rookie season. If we can get him developed and just continue to do the same thing with these rookies and just continue to develop our defense. We have the leaders in Tyrann Mathieu, Chris Jones. We have leaders. They just need to develop some of the younger guys, and we need to, play together as a defense.
Yeah, I'm really anxious to see how we end up grading as far as top. I mean, I'm gonna say we'll be a top 15.
A top 15 in defense.
Mm-hmm.
You know, top
Overall.
20, top 15. I think that's probably safe to say top 15, top 20. And I mean, it's sad that we have to look at it that way, but I mean, shoot, we were what? What were we last year in the late 20s? The overall rank? Yeah, and the year before that, we were like, I think we were last.
We were
31st.
close to last. I want to say, yeah.
And, I mean, shoot, I'm okay with it to an extent because look at our offense. I mean, look at Patrick Mahomes. We have a team that puts up points.
Honestly, with a top 15 defense, with our offense,
yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. It'll be interesting to see, but I really think that this year is our year defensively. We'll see what we do in the free agency.
yeah, man, it's been a while. But yeah, we'll move on from Mr. Snead and move on to. I'm just going to continue to call him Bo Peep Keys. I like it better.
It's easier to say.
Yeah. So Bo Peep comes from Tulane. He had a B grade. Now I will say, in some of the stuff I was seeing from the Arrowhead Pride guys, they were all giving him an A grade.
Yeah, that's weird to me. What was L'Jarius Sneed's grade? Do you remember?
C plus grade.
And really, that blows my mind.
And I'd give
just
him a B.
You give L'Jarius, I would probably give him a B plus, right? But this Bo Peep Keys, I'm thinking honestly, probably a C plus is what I personally would grade him. I didn't see a whole. Really, I didn't see. Really what I was expecting to see out of him. As a seventh rounder, I mean, I get it. He's a seventh rounder, but he wasn't as good as what I was thinking.
So yeah, I didn't see a ton of tape on him. He comes from a smaller school, but from what I did see, he's great at breaking up plays. He's real athletic.
Yeah, that's a big stat. He had, I believe, it was 11 pass breakups in 2019.
You could tell he lacks instinct because a lot of the plays that he had should have been picks. But I think he can develop well.
Yeah, he can definitely develop well. Something I did see, he's not afraid to get in there and make a tackle.
No.
I saw he had a couple sacks, and he came down and he hit low.
Yeah.
And that's huge. Tackling is, obviously something you need to be able to do, especially in the NFL. And it's something we struggled with a little bit last year is tackling. And so this Bo Peep Keys, I don't know where he's going to fit in on the depth chart. I really think that I don't know. I don't know if he's going to sit behind Charvarius Ward or if he will be before Charvarius Ward. I don't even know if they'll keep Charvarius Ward this year.
I think he's going to be behind. He's going to have to develop some. So I think we'll see. Honestly, with both these guys, training camp is going to be huge. To see where they line up with Charvarius and Kendall Fuller, because either one of these two guys have potential. And so I think it's all going to come down to how things go in training camp.
I agree, and I will tell you this. I've really kind of bashed Charvarius Ward, but I'm hoping that Bo Peep Keys isn't really trained by Charvarius Ward. I'm hoping these guys get behind, some Kendall Fuller. I'd be more comfortable for them. So Kendall Fuller is a good cornerback. Tyrann Mathieu can even teach some techniques and stuff, but if these guys are looking to Charvarius Ward for leadership, I'm not comfortable with that, man.
I'm not really either. Uh, he eh, he stepped up in some key situations here and there, but it's almost like our running back core where we talked about Williams and how he stepped up in key plays, but throughout the whole season he just wasn't there, and that's almost how I feel about Travarius Ward. He'll step up in some
Hmm.
key plays, but other than that, he's just not really there. And like you said
Right.
earlier, he kind of he gives up what it seems like on plays.
Yeah. Man, I will always take this back to the Houston game, postseason game, where he gives up a play and gets scored on. And, we can't have that mentality, especially on defense, when you're going up against the best receivers in the NFL. And, really, the way I see it, Charvarius Ward, he had to work to get a spot on the field. And Kendall Fuller, he got injured. That opened up a spot for him. But, I mean, this guy, honestly, in my opinion, if Kendall Fuller's healthy the whole season, this dude doesn't really see the field a whole lot. And so whenever he came out and he was starting, if I'm Charvarius Ward, I'm making sure to bust my butt on every single play. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And because he's got something to prove to be out there.
Yeah, he definitely does. I do think he will be probably the starter going into the season. But like I said, I think that's just going to be a lot based off of training camp.
Right. And, honestly, all of this, just so everyone watching this knows, every single thing we are saying is speculation at this
Definitely.
point. This is our opinions. This is what, from the stats we've gathered and what we've watched, the film we've watched, this is just speculation from what we've seen. Obviously, we don't know what the team's going to do and what's going to happen, but I mean, like you said, we'll wait and we'll see when OTA start and training starts, and if we even have an NFL season.
Right, right. But with that being said, like we want to hear from you guys. We want to hear your opinions. So make sure you guys are commenting and letting us know what you think on each of these players. Uh, Give us your insight. We want to know. Noah, do you have
Yep.
anything else on either one of these two guys?
Man, I don't think so. I do think it'll be interesting to see, like we've talked about, what happens in training camps and OTAs and all of that fun stuff, and just seeing how hopefully Bashad Breeland develops. He's still got a little ways to go. I hope he develops because he can be a solid cornerback for us. He can be a solid option, but just seeing where everyone lines up, and I know that I'm pumped to talk about Willie Gay.
Oh yeah, yeah, guys. Next time, that's who we'll be bringing to the podcast. Will be Willie Gay. Well, with that being said, we're done here, guys. Like I said, like, comment, subscribe. We want to hear your opinions. We want to hear your feedback, and that's all I got. Go
That's all I
Chiefs!
got too. Go Chiefs.
All right, we'll talk to you guys later.